Hey, Retro Notes, bet you didn't have this kind of a budget for your first episode, did you?
Hello and welcome to Gamerdads Retrocast Episode 1. As you can see, no expense spared on the pilot episode. GD, if you're watching this, your check's in the post, mate. Coming up, we've got some retro reviews for as normal. But first, let me just say, here's the news.
Hello and welcome to Gamerdads News Update. I am Red Gammers, a robotic data collector. It is the function of my species to travel to distant systems, salvaging parts and assimilating as much information as we can about each planet we visit. It is also our function to secretly share our own technological advances to help the dominant species of each planet so that they may evolve themselves beyond anything they could possibly imagine. Where do you think global hypercolor t-shirts and fluorescent tracksuits came from? Yes, that's right. It was me, bitches. It was all me. And by the way, you are welcome. As part of my mission to inform and educate all you primitive flesh bags scuttling about down there, I have developed and released one of my cybernetic clones, codename Moobit, into your general populace. While codename Moobit frankly lacks immeasurable cognitive capacity, the unit more than makes up for this in its pre-programmed infiltration skills. Moobit has therefore recently succeeded in its mission to infiltrate the best gaming website in the world by setting up a podcast for Gamerdads. What in the name of silicone hell is Gamerdads? I was looking to put a spy in Machinima or One Up or something. Oh well, I guess we all have to start somewhere. As I was saying, Moobit has now set up a podcast with the sole purpose of allowing me to interrupt the broadcast with what you flesh bags would call a news bulletin. So here it is. There is no news. It is the post-E3 summer drought. What did you expect? I could have cost report on all the retro remakes that were announced at E3. Games such as Kid Icarus, Donkey Kong Country, and the Microsoft Game Room announcements. However, you will already know most of the details of these games, and who in the name of random access memory plays Microsoft Game Room anyway. Well, my dear viewers, I am afraid I must now leave you as it is time for me to recharge. Don't look at me like that. Take a look at my awesome hardware. This 48K powerhouse does not run on fresh air, you know. Thank you, flesh bags, for your en masse consensual information assimilation. Until next time, I have been Red Gammers and you have been watching the Gamerdads News Update. Back to you, Moobit.
Okay, thank you, Reds Gamma. Forget everything you just saw, I will deny everything. So,
Welcome to the Gamerdads Retrocast. I'm Moobit, and joining me later will be GD. We'll try and keep things as as quick and simple as we can for the first show, what will be the pilot. So we'll just we'll do a bit of housekeeping, introduce you to the concept of the show, and then basically cover one of our favourite starter consoles. So stick around. Hopefully you'll enjoy it, and leave some comments in the forums, and we'll take it from there. But before we can do any of that, I need to introduce you to my rather dashing co-host. Who wrote this script? Right, figures. Some say that his gamertag is actually a reference to his love of retro gaming, but I can exclusively reveal on this very show that it's actually a reference to his rather rapidly expanding age group. It's the man, the myth, the legend, the owner of the site. It's Retro, by name and by nature, aka Gamerdad himself. Welcome, sir.
Thanks for that intro, Moobit. Yeah, good thanks. How are you?
I'm okay, sir, not bad. We're excited to get the show going and show people what we've been working on for the last couple of weeks.
Good. Thanks for that introduction.
We weren't expecting that music, though, were we?
I wasn't, no. I struck a little pose there for you.
I'll see that in the post-edit video then. So, shall we get straight on with it?
Yeah, let's crack on.
Fair play, here's the segue. Okay, so on behalf of myself and Gamerdad, welcome to the show. For all you sort of budding Gamerdads out there and all the members, you'll probably know what the site's about and have any clue what the show's about from what I've been posting on the forums. But I thought I'd pass you over to Gamerdad. It just been a pilot episode for any of you guys who are not watching it through the show and through the site, should I say, and watching it through YouTube or through iTunes or something like that. Hopefully you'll be catching that in a few weeks. If I pass you over to Gamerdads, just let him explain basically what the site's about, and we can just tell you a little bit about what the show's about and what to expect in the coming weeks, and then we'll get straight on with it. So Gamerdad, over to you.
Yeah, thanks for that, Moobit. As most of you know, Gamerdads was set up roughly a year ago now for dads that still like to game. The main philosophy of the site is that there's no pressure on anything we do. We do set up game nights, but nobody's obliged to turn up. If people drop out because baby's crying or something like that, that's not a problem either. Gamerdads is purely for dads that still like to game. However, we do accept anyone into the community as long as they understand the philosophy behind the site. Retro gamers, even mature gamers are allowed in. That's not a problem, as long as they understand that you're going to be playing with dads that sometimes can't stay in the game, sometimes need to leave the game. And that's really something that we're quite passionate about on Gamerdads, and something that's worked quite well for us. The other thing that's I think quite unique about Gamerdads is that it's completely community driven. As you can see, this retrocast has been set up by a Moobit. We've got a vodcast that's set up by two other members, Digital Twisted and Stormfire. And it's a great view as well. Everything that's done on Gamerdads is set up by someone in the community, and I think that's what makes it all come together quite well. It's not run by me as such. I'm just a sort of facilitator in the whole process. And that's it really. I don't want to go too much into any detail onto the ins and outs of it. I just hope you enjoy what you're watching, and hope you sign up to the site if you're not already a member.
How can they actually find the site? How do they sign up? What do they do about it?
Yeah, of course. If they go to www.gamerdads.co.uk, hit over to the forums.
Bing.
and then you can sign up there.
Fair play. Sounds like a plan to me. And there's a site for the US as well, is there?
There is, yeah. We've recently launched our American site. That's GamerdadsUSA.com. Again, same philosophy behind Gamerdads, but obviously for our American friends, what we found is we did have a lot of American guys joining up, but due to the time difference, found it hard to join in the game nights. So we've set up their own dedicated website.
Good. Hopefully you guys will go check that out, and we'll see you on the forums. So you've heard about the site and our philosophy, and hopefully that will encourage a few new people to the site, and we welcome you anytime. I'm sure anybody in the chat rooms who are watching this live now will agree with me. Come on, write it there. Yeah, there you go. I knew you would. Now then, in terms of the retrocast itself, obviously this is new to all Gamerdads and all non-Gamerdads really. Quick sort of bit of housekeeping. I mean, as you can see from behind me, we're all about retro gaming here. We're of that age where, we're not exactly young whippersnappers anymore, so we like to look on things in a bit of bit of nostalgia, and hopefully give you a few facts and figures and a few retro reviews as well. So we're just basically here for you guys, really. I'm trying to make this more of a community-based podcast, so there'll be links in the doobly-doo down here somewhere, and also in the show notes of how to get hold of it, how to sort of get hold of us. And what I'd like to hear from you guys is what kind of systems you want covering. What kind of game genres you want covering, in any particular sort of ongoing sort of just games in general, really. So for example, you might want one based on, say, the Final Fantasy series, or something based on Dizzy, which I know me and GD want to do soon, don't we, GD?
Oh yes.
So we'll look for that one coming soon. We'll work on that one.
And we need to I think we need to make clear as well, Moobit, for our younger members, what exactly is a retro console.
True. Well,
we've got some members who think the PlayStation 1 is a retro console.
Oh, I don't know. Well, okay. You know who you are who said that. You know who you are. We've had words in the forums, my friend. Yes, okay. Retro consoles can basically, I guess, can really be anything, previous to this generation. Although, to me and GD, PlayStation 1, really? I mean, really?
No.
Yeah. Hello, you young whippersnappers. There's people that are older than 20 here. I mean, come on, making us feel old here. PlayStation 1's your first console. It's never been retro. 3D? What's that? I completely lost my train of thought there.
Yeah.
I'm going there again.
It happens.
It does. It does with me.
That's your age.
That's true. Actually, we'll not cut that bit out.
Yeah.
Just say, it's you guys need to know how we make this thing. There you go. We're it's more of a discussion than a script thing. Sorry, GD, you're saying?
Was I saying? I can't remember what I was saying.
Who's the Prime Minister?
Yeah, PlayStation. No, definitely not a retro console in my eyes. I'm looking at your 8-bit to 16-bit. There's a few 32-bit consoles I would stick in the category, but not too many. But I mean, everyone's got their own ideas of what a retro console is. But for me, the PlayStation's not retro. There's still games available. You can download them on PlayStation. It just doesn't come across as retro to me.
No, not really. But again, different by the community. So if you feel that you want PlayStation stuff covering, you want Dreamcast stuff covering, I mean, we'll cover anything you really want. But really, when you're talking to two guys whose first console was horse-driven, literally horse in the back garden, running around the wheel,
Yeah.
and it's sending it through. We were playing games before electricity was invented, mates. Now come on. So anyway, yes.
Steam-powered.
Steam, yeah. You say Steam to these young whippersnappers these days, they're thinking of blooming PC engine. Never mind Steam-powered consoles. Okay, so but for now, as me and GD's had a little chat, we're going to actually cover the first console that me and GD grew up loving. You can probably see a clue to it right up there. It's basically the Spectrum. I personally, my first ever games console was a Spectrum 128K. I don't know which one did you have, GD?
Yeah, I had the 48K. Start with the old rubber keypad.
Oh, yeah, you see.
You know, it had to be done, didn't it? Still got it as well. You know, and I've still got the 48K plus, maybe plus 2 and then plus 3. You know, great little computers for the time, and even now, you know, if you haven't played on a Spectrum, you know, you've just got to do it just for the experience. And I'm not talking about flashing it up on the internet. I'm talking about sitting there for a good 5 minutes waiting for the thing to load, only for it to have it crash out on you. You know, but just the anticipation that you felt when you were sitting there watching these loading screens was you know, something that's not really experienced anymore.
Oh yeah, that's it. People complain about loading times now, about 2 or 3 minutes on the big AAA games, and you tell you what, 2 or 3 hours, mate.
Yeah.
One level made up about 4 screens, and then you wait for another 2 hours while you load the next one. I'll tell you.
And if it didn't work, you'll be blowing out the tape deck and trying to get it in again.
That's the one. Okay, so little treat for you coming up. We've got actually a thing we found on YouTube, and I'll actually link in with the show notes who actually posted it, so you get the full credit. It's actually an original advert for the Spectrum 48K, GD's preferred console. So here it is. Alright, so there you go. Some of you guys probably not even heard of of that console or seen it, much like for that. Anyone of our age will probably remember that advert when it first came on the telly. back when TV was, what, 3 channels back then? Was Channel 4 quite new in the 80s? I can't remember.
Oh, I can't even remember Channel 4.
Can't remember it now. Excuse my beer there. So yeah, the Spectrum. Games, consoles, what you know, what inspired you? What actually, you know, what do you remember as a kid? What did, you know, what kind of things stick in your mind, JD?
Well, it's actually, it was my parents that got it for me originally, and I think like most parents at the time, they thought it was going to be a computer that, you know, their kids could grow up on, learn programming, and
it wasn't,
you know, and take over the world with, but yeah, it obviously turned into a bit of a games console for everyone, including my dad as well. One of my favourite games, or my all-time favourite game on the Spectrum, was a game called Chaos. I know you've got some footage coming up of that. It was a really simple game. It was basically 8 wizards on one screen. You all got a selection of spells that you could cast, and basically it was the last wizard standing one. And you know, the graphics were really basic, as most Spectrum games were. Everything was really basic about it, but it was just such an addictive, brilliant game. And you know, it's one of those games that even today would work really well on Xbox Live, on the PSN. It would just, I think, would sell so many games. And you know, and even now I still boot it up. You could have 8 players as well, you know, on one Spectrum all playing. It was just brilliant. It was really sort of ahead of its time in terms of playability. But yeah, if any of you guys have got Spectrums out there, or even if you know you can find it on the net, definitely have a go of it. It's really worth it. You'll see sort of where games sort of come from.
Defo. There'll be some links in the doobly-doo in a bit. There's actually a website which is quite a legal website, which is has Flash-based versions of quite a few Spectrum games. So I think Chaos is on there.
It is on there. It is on there.
There we go. So there you go, GDs. In the doobly-doo, and obviously I'll be talking live to you while this is broadcasting on the premiere. So I'll stick the links in that side as well. So yeah, Chaos, awesome. I mean, for my money, my story is basically about the same as you, GD. I mean, my parents bought it thinking it'll be used for schoolwork. Before the days of Microsoft Office and everything was invented and put onto PCs in the first place. So yeah, I spent about a week learning to program the screen to change to about four or five different colours, and it was straight in with the games. So yeah, that really worked for them, didn't it? I
remember when they first sold it. It was actually supplied with a couple of, I think it was Tazword, and a couple of other sort of office packages as such. Nothing that you could ever actually do anything with, I don't think. But yeah, they definitely had a few sort of word processing programs, albeit very basic. With the intention that people would use it for work and schoolwork and everything else. But like you say, the games were just sort of took over and it became a games console, really.
It did, yeah. And it's I don't know about you, but last count when it got to finally got trading in for, actually I went straight up to a Mega Drive. I kind of skipped the whole Master System and NES. Unfortunately, I've learned from my mistakes and got one now. Oh mate, call myself a retro presenter. I've learned from my mistake now. Obviously, I've owned just about everything that's been released, but at the time, the Spectrum was that good. We were relatively poor, to be honest. So at the time, so. Was on the Spectrum quite a lot, and it got to the stage where you could go down with pocket money. £2 would buy you about two or three games even, on tape, and it was just a revolution, wasn't it? I think last count I had something like 150, 200 games. It was ridiculous. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, you could build up a massive collection of games because the games were quite cheap. One thing as well, you used to be able to get compilations, which are very, very rarely done now. You could sometimes get 8, 9, 10 games on one cassette, but it's something that's not really done now.
No, it's not. Forgive me, I'm just looking a different direction there, GD. Fill in!
Yeah, well, I mean, can I say?
How professional am I?
You're supposed to be the producer, move it.
I'll produce it. Don't worry. I'll produce my ass off after this. You'll not see the seams.
Yeah, I'm sure. It'll be like it'll run just like a Spectrum-Full game.
Like that, you mean? Take 4 hours to play. Well,
We'll have to reload it.
Well, it's been done before. Little in-joke for the GDs there. What they'll probably see is where I'm pointing here. There's like a million LOLs just appearing right now. But yeah, you were saying, go on.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, compilations. I mean, one of the most famous ones was they sold 1 million, and they had 4 games that racked up 1 million sales. But the unique thing about it was, and it's something that I don't think would ever happen again, is that it was 4 different companies that had 4 different games on it. It was Ocean, US Gold, I think it was Konami, and another company, I can't remember which. But 4 different companies all joining together to create this one cassette, and the profits were split 4 ways. It's something that's just never going to happen anymore. I don't think anymore.
No, not really. I mean, we're lucky to get Sonic on a Nintendo console, for example. Never mind anything else. God, Ocean. They used to produce some awesome games on Ocean. I loved the thing.
Yeah.
Never-Ending Story was my first Ocean game, as I remember. One of the text-based adventures based on the film. I don't know if any UGDs there will remember that one.
They did Batman as well, didn't they? I think the movie version of Batman.
They did, yes, they did. Well, I think that's one of their main things, wasn't it? I'm actually going to probably segue in some research in a minute and find out what happened to Ocean, because I did have that on top of my head, but it's not right in front of me the setup I've got right here where I'm filming the first show. So I'll stick some links in the doobly-doo for that. But yeah, they did that. In fact, Batman's one of the games I actually remember. I'll stick some footage on in a minute for you guys who remember it. And talking about my own personal favourite game, which actually I think still holds up today, probably could be released on the DS or something with slightly updated graphics, is a game called Trapdoor. Now that was obviously you remember playing that yourself. That is also on the Spectrum website that I'll be putting in the show notes for you. But yeah, it was a good stuff. I mean, it was a good game based on a awesome cartoon, and all you whippersnappers out there, get on YouTube, type in Trapdoor, you will not be disappointed. It's kind of like Aardman, but kind of the early days, as it were. Yeah, way before its time. Brilliant show, really funny. And yeah, I mean, what was that? 1986, I believe. Trapdoor. That was Piranha Games. That one, as I remember. Written by the great Don Priestley. If you guys remember that, he did Trapdoor. He did Meteoroids on the Spectrum. He did the Benny Hill game. If anyone remembers that, Benny Hill's Madcap Chase. That was an awesome one as well. You need to look out for that one. And another game which you can tell is his, called Popeye, which is my mum's favourite game, funnily enough. One of my earliest memories of the Spectrum is getting my mum addicted to games, and even today she still plays Popeye to this day on that website, which is just amazing. It shows you the playability of the things even back then in 1985,
Right, actually, you're saying that, my mum actually used to play Chucky Egg. Which was a great game in itself. Used to have Chucky Egg, Chucky Egg 2, both great games.
Oh yeah, man. That's part of the when we do a proper Spectrum expose and actually decent good facts, and I'll have a special show for that. That's obviously one of the games we'll be covering, along with of course the Dizzy series, which is one of the biggest ones on the Spectrum, as I'm sure GD will remember. Did you ever play Dizzy, GD? Did you have any of those ones?
Yeah, I think I've pretty much had all the Dizzy games at some point or another. You had Treasure Island Dizzy, Fantasy Island Dizzy. I mean, there was all pretty similar games, but there was all. I mean, it was sort of a platformer that, again, sort of a bit ahead of its time, really.
Word to your mother. How is your mother?
Right, so this is a section called How Cool Is That? Named to be confirmed, kind of thought up on the spot there. And it's just a random segment we're going to do every now and again. We come across quite cool things on the net that sometimes can't go unreported. So it's something I found on the net today that's quite kind of retro themed. I've sent you the link. If you have a click on that. For you guys who are watching, which is on there right now for you, and it is an iPad arcade cabinet. Have you seen this, GD? It's awesome.
Wow, that looks pretty sweet.
Yeah, man. Started off as to fill you guys in on GD's. Actually started off as an April Fool's joke by somebody. And I can put up the picture for the original one there. Bing. Okay. Now, it got such a response that the actual guy who did the April Fool's joke decided he was going to make it for real, and that's the end result there, GD. He's even gone as far as having the walnut sides and the lot. It's just, I mean, would you buy one of those if they were in the shops? I know I would.
Yeah, definitely. That is really nice.
Yeah, man. There's a video on right now that's playing from YouTube, so you can see the thing in action. But yeah, it's actually, unfortunately you can't buy them. He's made one, and it's on an auction apparently. He calls it the Freak Arcade. I'll put some links in the doobly-doo down here, so you can anyone who's interested in bidding on this, which I'm sure it'll get pretty damn expensive. You can do.
It's like a midget arcade.
Yeah, man. It's awesome, isn't it? You can imagine that sitting on your kitchen table or something. I mean, to be fair, okay, not strictly legal. Obviously, the case itself is just a bit of wood and some electronics, but what you have to do is actually jailbreak your iPad, officially speaking, so you can run some ROM software on there, so you can run like NES, Super Nintendo, PlayStation emulators, all that kind of a thing. So it'll run the full range of things. It can handle PlayStation 1 games, apparently, the iPad. So, you got the options there. I don't, there's no analog sticks by the looks of things, so I don't know how you get on with some of the PlayStation 1 games there.
Yeah, only 4 buttons as well, unless you include the 1 and 2 player buttons at the front.
Unless they make them some kind of shoulder pad buttons, so that'd just be a pain in the arse, man. I think I'd just be using it like with a picture there with Donkey Kong and all the original ones, if I was to play ROMs, that was, of course.
I wonder how easy that was to make. It looks doesn't look...
It doesn't look, I don't know, it doesn't look too difficult, does it? But no. I guess it's the electronics inside that's the hard part, I suppose.
Yeah.
I've not managed to actually find like a making of video yet. I'm just, for you guys who, I'm not looking at the camera, I'm actually scrolling through the webpage now to see if there's any links. Again, I'll put those in the show notes for you if I find anything in the meantime. Yeah, it just looks like it's just a nicely built looking little thing. It does look like a real arcade cabinet, doesn't it?
That'll go nicely on the breakfast bar, that would. Yeah,
man. So, want one of those. Whoever you are who made it, if you're watching, come on, me and GD's way. We'll do a review for you, and plug your site. More than happy to, my mate.
That's a nice bit of kit, isn't it?
It's a beautiful bit of kit, isn't it? I'm loving that. I'm just watching the video now. It's just, it's pretty cool. Especially for like top-down shooters and stuff like the guy in the video is using. I mean, it's just perfect, man.
Yeah.
Loving
1943 springs to mind.
Oh yeah. 1943 would be awesome. I mean, that's actually one of my favourite top downs. I've been pining after that. I don't know. Again, my research on the Xbox and PlayStation arcades down a bit, but I don't know if can you download that yet? Is that available? Do you know?
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure they remade it for PlayStation 2.
Alright.
Because I've got it, but it wasn't a particularly great conversion. But I definitely know it's on PlayStation 1, and your PlayStation 3 will run that. Regardless
if you've got the first gen.
Yes. Well, no. I still think the new ones do as well. PlayStation 1 games.
Stand corrected.
I'm not. Well, I'm sure they do. But I've got the Capcom collection on PlayStation 1, and that's got 1942 and 43 and 1943 K, or Kai, I think it was called, KAI.
I've heard of the first 1942, 1943. I've actually, ever the researcher here, that's kind of, obviously back in my time I was quite a young kid, so I remember going to, in Sherwood Forest used to have a little arcade there, and a little fairground. It's still there now, I think. And they had 1942 and 1943 like next to each other. This was in like sort of late 80s. Yeah, I remember playing them and just spamming the button that made you do the loops all the time to avoid the bullets.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Fond memories of that thing. I think we should cover that on the
music. The music was repeating constantly. It was constantly.
Yeah, man. It was awesome. I love the thing. I know you can get ROMs of it and stuff like that. You know, you can get ROMs of everything these days, can't you? But I won't want to download it like that. I want to actually pay for it and get some money to the developers.
The arcade cabinet would be the icing, wouldn't it? If you could own the cabinet.
Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy. So I want in the man cave in the basement. If I ever get that tanked out, a couple of arcade cabinets down there. That would be one of them. And a pinball.
In 1943.
There's yours. There you go. That might have been probably 1943. I don't know what else I'd put on there actually. Probably maybe the original RoboCop arcade cabinet. If you remember that one, that was a good one.
Oh yeah, that was nice. Maybe a sit-down Daytona or a sit-down Sega Rally.
Yeah, if I had a big enough house, mate. My ultimate for me would be, the cocktail cabinet arcade tables that you get, where you sit down, put your pint on them, as it were.
Pint on it, yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, man, I'd love one of them. And I know there is a site you actually go and buy those things and build them yourself.
Yeah,
they give you all the stuff you need.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. I think I'll put a link to that in Gamerdads, I think, already. But one of them, and a pinball table. Everyone needs a pinball table in their lives, guys.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, so want a pinball table. That'd be so cool. But I don't be able to get down the stairs because there's no access to the basement apart from the basement steps, so you could never get the thing down.
Yeah, that's the problem. You need a lot of space to open up an arcade in your house.
And a very, very understanding wife.
yes, and a lot of expendable cash.
Yeah, man. If you've got the expendable cash, you're going to have the space, aren't you? And
yeah,
probably an understanding wife.
Yes, probably.
Up, moaning, here's some cash, off you go.
Yeah.
No, sorry, that's a bit belittling, that.
Nah,
I didn't mean that. Well, I suppose some people are like that, aren't they, I guess?
Yeah. Oh.
What are you playing now?
Alex Kidd.
Oh, yes.
I liked Alex Kidd, the last one they did, where you had to go around finding the bits of paper. But this one I'm playing, I'm not a particularly big fan of, but I'm playing it because I want the trophy. I've only got to collect 1,000 points and then I'm done.
Ooh, your trophy. You're just a Judas playing a version of it on PlayStation, mate. I mean, come on.
I know, yeah.
You need to dig out the original console and play it on that, man.
Yeah, I should.
Got a good mind to get my Mega Drive and slap you around the face with it, lad. They don't make them like they used to. The old stick ads.
Yeah.
And that's episode 1.
Okay. Vid reference take 3. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. And finally, we'll also let you know what's happening in the expanded world of the Gamerdads universe. Video reference, GD intro, take 4. Take 6. 8.5. Fuck's sake!